was doable in Nigeria. And the target audience that we were bringing on the platform, people were really, really excited. So NITDA was able to do that for me. And with the certificate that we got, it was a sort of endorsement from the government that we were ready. We have taken it to a level where people will accept it. So those things and the other programs as well that we have been invited to, it means that government has recognized our efforts, NITDA has recognized our efforts, and it is backing us and giving us access to those people that we are creating these solutions for. The only thing that I will hope that NITDA will do further and take a step further is for people like us entrepreneurs. It's been long where we have been in the formal employment sector, and accessing funding is really, really difficult, because when you go to access fund to help improve on your business, you get, what do you call it? You get hurdles into things like collateral, things like, stock and all of those things. So we hope that if we are part of this community, the Nigerian technology sector, that we are able to get, endorsement for funding so that we can improve our businesses. We hope that WIC as well will be the go-to for a lot of people, especially SMEs. No matter how small your business is, no matter how remote your business is, that you are able to use WIC as well so you can take your business to the next level.
This is NITDA Impact, your guide to a digital Nigeria.
The Nigeria Startup Bill project is a joint initiative by Nigeria's tech startup ecosystem and the presidency to harness the potential of our digital economy through co-created regulations. The bill will ensure that Nigeria's laws and regulations are clear, planned, and work for the tech ecosystem. This, we believe, will contribute to the creation of an enabling environment for growth, attraction, and protection of investment in tech startups. To learn more on how you can benefit from our activities, kindly log on to our website, www.nida.gov.ng, or all our social media handles displayed right on your screen. Until we come your way next time, our special appreciation goes to the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami, the Director General of NITDA, Kashifu Inua CCIE, and the entire management and staff of NITDA for this program. I am Gabriel Onu. Thanks for watching.
The need to improve the quality and quantity of goods and services available for consumption in Nigeria is critical in increasing total wealth and improving our well-being.
The National Productivity Center has the mandate to impact productivity consciousness in all sectors of the Nigerian economy, as well as build skills and competences for the enhancement of national and international competitiveness.
Productivity is teamwork. Let us join hands together to make Nigeria a productive and prosperous nation.
National Productivity Center, promoting productivity in
A lot of lives are being lost. The president is not happy about this situation. President Buhari orders rescue of all captives across Nigeria.
Wherever the insurgents are, we will go after them. And all those they are holding will ensure that we free them.
Free at last. A tale of 6 women, 2 years in captivity, and the MNJTA.
Clearly, these are challenging times, but we are determined.
Insecurity on the 2023 elections. INEC insists polls must hold. Also tonight, Presidential Advisory Committee dismisses U.S. corruption report on Nigeria. Good evening. Welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stover. I am here in Abuja. Hingino John Adams is standing by in Lagos, while Kemi Akinwande joins us later from Ibadan. And you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on all our social media handles displayed on the screen. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the nation's armed forces and other security services to do whatever it takes towards rescuing all Nigerians in captivity immediately and unharmed. The president gave the marching order while addressing the meeting of the National Security Council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports that the council allayed fears in respect of the forthcoming general elections.
The crucial meeting that lasted about 4 hours was summoned by President Muhammadu Buhari following suggestions received from the last Council of State meeting on the way forward towards achieving lasting peace, stability, and public order across the country. During the meeting, all strategic and operational issues in respect of internal security management in Nigeria were reviewed and far-reaching measures adopted towards ensuring that all those behind the security breaches, economic sabotage, and wanton destruction of lives and property are dealt with decisively. The National Security Advisor, Babagana Mungunu, told journalists that for a start, President Buhari directed that all those in captivity in the hideouts of the various criminal gangs be rescued unharmed.
Mr. President spoke about his sadness in respect of the recent developments in the country, in particular the incident in which several Nigerians lost their lives and many more had been taken into captivity by criminals and bandits. Mr. President has directed all the operational and intelligence elements to rescue these innocent people immediately and unhurt. Not just those that were captured during the last train incident, but those that have been in captivity in other parts of the country. That is the first thing that has to be done.
The National Security Advisor in particular submitted to the Council wide-ranging recommendations that touched on all aspects of security within the country, across the land borders, as well as the needs and challenges of all the operational elements.
The most important thing for now is acquisition of intelligence. And the type of intelligence that is needed is human intelligence. And I need to make it very, very clear. I have to be very honest. Unless the wider society, right down to the local governments, are willing to give the type of information that is needed to block the activities of these criminals, this situation will continue to linger beyond whatever time frame we're looking at towards ending this great problem. A lot of lives are being lost. The president is not happy about this situation. He has made it very, very clear. And his displeasure is probably because he feels enough is not being done.
The National Security Council, which noted with satisfaction the significant achievements recorded in securing the nation's maritime domain, as well as containing the Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast, promised to ensure that same is replicated in the northwest and north central parts of the country.
The issue of general election. We are very conscious of the fact that even before the general election, we have staggered election that is coming up in the next maybe 8 weeks, the issue of Oshun and Ikiti. All the service chiefs and the heads of security agents are members of the Interagency Consultative Forum on Election. We are assessing the security situation. I am aware INEC had expressed its peers and so forth. And we believe the narrative will change for the better in terms of securing the country to enable us conduct general election and even the staggered elections.
The meeting of the National Security Council was the first for the year 2022. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And staying with security matters, troops of the Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, are said to have rescued 6 kidnapped victims and eliminated more than 27 Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists during a recent clearance operation. The 6 kidnapped female victims were abducted between 2020 and 2021 from Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. A statement by the Chief of Military Public Information, headquarters of MNJTF in Jamena, Chad, Colonel Mohammed Doli, says the intelligence-driven operation, codenamed Operation Lake Sanity, spanned through Tumbum Fulani, Tumburagu, Ngangam, Kabaliwa, and Ngwimi. Several criminal enclaves, gun trucks, and arms were destroyed in the ongoing clearance operation, which accorded the captives the avenue to escape. In the meantime, the 6 rescued women who spent almost 2 years in captivity have been received at the headquarters of the Theatre Command Operation Hadunkai in Maiduguri, Borno State Capital. Maimuna Garba reports.
I was captured on 18 December from Meno to Maiduguri. I've really suffered, but we thank for the Nigerian army. They have go and rescue our life. I'm from Kwekusa local government, Borno State. On my way back to Maiduguri, I was kidnapped on the 19th of October 2020. I was taken to Civic in Chadi. It was hell for me on it. We do hard labors, insult, names calling.
These are some of the rescued women explaining their agonies while in terrorist captivity. They were kidnapped at different locations in Adamawa, Borno, Gombe, and Yobe states between October 2020 to April 2021. Theatre Commander Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa said the joint operations Lake Sanity and Desert Sanity is recording tremendous successes as the insurgents are being decimated on a daily basis. He said apart from the ongoing offensive to clear the theatre, the military is rescuing many hostages, pointing out that they are not relenting till all the criminal elements are degraded within the theatre and shores of the Lake Chad.
These ones were taken and we were not aware. No information got to us until they were rescued. So it is important when something happens, people should learn to report to the police, and once you do that to the police, it will get across to us. Wherever the insurgents are, we will go after them. And all those they are holding will ensure that we free them so that they can come back and live a normal life.
The rescued women will, after undergoing all necessary investigations by the military, be handed over to the Department of State Security Service in Maiduguri, from where they will be reunited with their families. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
The Minister of Environment has been directed to fashion effective strategies towards addressing all concerns raised by partners and stakeholders in respect of the Ogoni cleanup so that the project can be delivered in good time. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the directive at a meeting with the Minister of Environment, Muhammad Abdullahi, on the state of affairs in the ministry. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has details.
The meeting held behind closed doors was the first since the redeployment of Muhammad Abdullahi to the Ministry of Environment as substantive minister. It was therefore an opportunity for the minister to bring the president up to speed on the level of implementation of key priority projects being executed by the Environment Ministry. The hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, otherwise called the Ogoni cleanup, is one of them.
It's a major priority of this government, and particularly based on the undertaking and the promises made by Mr. President to deliver a very clean ecosystem for the Ogoni people. I have updated the president on that, and the key understanding is that we are focused on delivery. He has given us marching orders to ensure that the concerns raised by the partners, particularly Shell, UNEP, Ajib, Total, and other parties, and indeed the stakeholders themselves of the Ogoni land, that those concerns are addressed to ensure that the process goes unhindered. We are directed, particularly by the president, to be very focused and fix our eyes on the ball to ensure there are no distractions, that we deliver.
Issues relating to the Great Green Wall were also discussed with the Nigerian leader, who is the president of the Conference of the Pan-African Heads of State and Government on the project.
So Mr. President has directed us to hold Council of States, of member states of the Pan-African Great Green Wall, to hold a meeting on the 16th of June this year to prepare an agenda for the eventual meeting of the Conference of Heads of State and Government to, one, look at the budget and strategic plan for this year for the member states, and then to ensure that we have modalities to access the over 16.2 billion euros that is available from funding partners of the project to support the processes of ensuring that we have a long belt across the Sahel to stop this desert encroachment.
President Buhari also used the opportunity to reaffirm his administration's commitment towards planting 25 million trees across Nigeria.
He has agreed at a later date to launch a multifaceted national tree planting campaign where the governors will be involved so that they can also replicate them in their states, and as well as local government chairmen and traditional rulers. And of course, I bring Mr. President on AgriStar project. Essentially, the program is focused on making uncultivatable land to be cultivatable, to make sure that people have access to clean water, to make sure that there will be usage of our land resources.
The president directed the minister to engage the World Bank, which earmarked $700 million to fund the project, which involves dry land remediation and management in the 19 northern states and the FCT. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, an assessment of progress in the Ogoni cleanup exercise is on course as the federal government interfaces with joint venture partners to up the ante for expeditious implementation. Onengie Fineface reports.
Top on the list of priority areas in the environment sector is the Ogoni cleanup exercise. While boots are already on ground for the remediation component of the exercise, the federal government is exploring options for faster and efficient delivery of other components like the provision of potable water and revamping of marine-dependent livelihoods. To this effect, joint venture partners of the federal government are being engaged to review existing strategies for the exercise in Ogoni land.
Engage you on how we ensure we sustain the progress that we have made so far on this project, to ensure that issues of delivery and transparency are clearly on the table. So I really look forward on behalf of the JV to working with the Federal Ministry of Environment on this very important issue of the Ogoni cleanup project.
And the direction I got from Mr. President is to ensure that the HAPRE project stay on course, because he has promised, he has undertaken to ensure that the Ogoni cleanup exercise goes on unhindered.
This review will address identified challenges in procurement bottlenecks, stakeholder engagements, fund management, among others. Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
305 billion naira is what INEC is proposing for the conduct of the 2023 general elections. This is contained in the 2023 election project plan presented to the public by INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu in Abuja. Mia Ogidi reports.
9 months to the 2023 elections. 9-chapter election project plan unveiled, dwelling on risk management, budgeting, administration, resources deployment, central in the document, taking care of 1 presidential, 109 senatorial, 360 federal constituencies, 28 governorship, and 993 state constituency elections, requiring 1 million election officials, expected at 176,846 polling units, with a financial cost of 305 billion naira.
With the planning processes virtually completed, the Commission will now focus its attention on election technology and election administration. Clearly, these are challenging times, but we are determined that election must hold in 2023.
Learning from yesterday not to repeat mistakes, 144-page strategic plan from 2022 to 2026 also presented, with detailed review of the 2019 elections and recommendations made for the 2023 polls.
There is the pressing need for the judiciary to introspect with the intention of checking the tendencies and practices that tend to portray the bench as inadvertently engaging in activities that erode the functions of the Independent Electoral Commission with regard to the performance of the smooth, credible, and transparent elections.
But we will challenge you when there is need to challenge you. But we work with you when we need to work with you. This is not going to be a time. 2023 is not a time to say beavers are not working.
Advice taken. Let's expect the best. The INEC chairman promised the electorate. Mie Ogidi, NT News.
And time for our first break on the news. Stay with us.
Oh, I see this collab where they shoot there. Yeah, give me my new number now. Romance without finance now, annoyance. Better give me ball. Yeah, give me the number. Oh, yeah, jot the number down. 0805. Where the complete number? It's always so hot, like the guys are gonna need juice, so just like juice. Hey, oh yeah, give me last numbers. My 5 password. 41 are you owe me? Oh yeah, 7650. What's you? What's you? It's funny, hello, how are you? Guys, the first collab was on the trend, though.
Find your first. Choose a social data bundle that suits your style. Dial *777#. Glow Unlimited.
What if you stumble into an opportunity at your own convenience? What if you stumble into a friendly stranger and all you had to do is wave? What if you unlock the opportunity of a lifetime with this new acquaintance in a branded shirt? What if all you have to do is your favorite things in your favorite places? Shopping at the mall, having a weekend getaway, or going to the movies? Your future is right outside your door. We are closer than you think.
Just red and black. Just a moment. The refrigerator. Hello? Sunday. Yes, Marga. Come. 1,000 naira. Buy me Airtel recharge card. You have what I said. 1,000 naira. Okay. The rechargeable of this are no problem. We have it. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, Sunday, don't finish me. I say 1,000 naira recharge card. You carry 8,000 naira of my money, go load up. Because money there your hand, Abi.
Ogano. As I load the 1,000 naira, I use Airtel over Jara, turn them to 8,000 naira, just like that.
Get 8 times the value of any recharge, plus double data and 1,000 Naira activation bonus when you buy a new SIM.
Sunday, go by us. Okay. And make sure say they put over Jara for you.
The Smartphone Network.
Bye. Bye.
Don't worry, dear. I'll take care of it. How do you manage to keep your fabric so white? Wow. And how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use Hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your home free of illness, causing viruses and germs with the disinfecting power of Hypo Bleach. Now available in 200 ml bigger sachet.
For those wondering why Schweppes changes look, experience tells us. Change is inevitable. Schweppes, made with over 200 years of experience.
Introducing Good Night Power Shots Multi-Insect Killer. Fast action and great fragrance. Spray 2 shots each in 4 corners of the room. Stops mosquitoes without stopping family moments. Good Night Power Shots. Spray inside, stay inside. Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
Thanks for staying with us. The Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, PACAC, has reacted to a recent negative report by the United States of America on corruption in Nigeria. In a statement by the chairman, Professor Ishe Sagi, the Presidential Advisory Committee says that on the contrary, agencies such as the EFCC and the ICPC have recorded remarkable success in recent times, prosecuting and convicting all classes of suspected criminals and recovering assets. PACAC adds that the use of tools like IPPIS and BVN to curb corrupt practices should be sustained by the government. The federal government has assured international donor agencies of judicious use of funds provided to support food production in Nigeria. Musa Aliyu reports that in line with this, a steering committee for the execution of 3 key projects was inaugurated by the Minister of Agriculture.
World Bank, International Fund for Agricultural Development, and the African Development Bank are currently funding 3 key agricultural projects in Nigeria. These are Agricultural Transformation Agenda Support Program, Agro-Processing, Productivity Enhancement, and Livelihood Support Program, as well as Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Projects. The total cost for the projects is $1.416 billion, with varying expiration of time. The projects are designed in such a way that federal and state governments will provide counterpart funds.
Formally inaugurate members of the National Steering Committees.
Minister of Agriculture is inaugurating this steering committee to ensure the effective execution of the project.
We have structure for each of these to keep track of how much is coming in and what is being spent, and also a steering committee. And also we do send inspection team from time to time, monitoring and evaluation to make sure the money being spent, we can see the result. We can see the work is commensurate to what is happening. And also the agencies themselves, the funding agencies themselves have their own monitoring team that from time to time will check and will compare notes.
The committee is to ensure effective monitoring and evaluation of projects as well as budget analysis. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
150,000 cooks of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program are to be trained on hygiene and safe working environment while cooking for beneficiaries. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is engaging facilitators that will carry out the training nationwide. Ruth Agwele reports.
As future leaders and beneficiaries of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, their well-being, especially in the food they consume, is of utmost priority for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. As for hygiene check, food handling and food storage is the goal behind this training for the facilitators that will train the cooks with a manual designed for them to serve as guide in order to meet the set standard of the school feeding program.
To maintain a safe and hygienic environment, which is good hygiene practices that are vital to cooks, and the standardization of making sure that these food are produced as expected.
Children are very, very vulnerable to diseases and all other things. And as such, we should handle their food with care.
And then it is to help to educate and empower the cooks so that they can cook properly for our children.
We are going to train every single cook in the country, and we have like between 100 to 150,000 of them. From safety, from the procurement of the food and preparation, serving, relating with the children, portioning, formulating the whole thing to have good balanced meal, and so on and so forth.
Beyond this orientation, the expectation here is to ensure that the cooks utilize the knowledge acquired and become more competent in meeting the nutritional needs of the children. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
The need to promote religious harmony and peaceful coexistence among ethnic nationalities has been emphasized. This came to light when the management of NASCO Group of Companies held an interfaith breaking of fast at the Fiber Mosque in Jos, Plateau State. Caleb Guchin was there.
It can be described as brief yet colorful and memorable. Religious barriers broken, with people of different faith interacting as guests were treated to assorted dishes. This NASCO believes it's its way of appreciating relationship and friendship, even in challenging times.
We are all creation of God that comes from descendant of Adams. And so we should love each other. There's no need, we should quarrel among ourselves. We are all believers in one living God.
Associates and admirers of NASCO express satisfaction with the program, with a call on everyone to emulate same.
This meeting is very important at the right time. People are coming together, Christians like this, as people are having problems.
Even after now, we should be able to interact with one another. That is the peace that we are looking for. This type of gathering will bring unity, peace among the different religious ethnic.
While savoring the fellowship and rich cuisine, the essence of the program was not lost to the guests as they went away with messages of a united Nigeria. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has shared about 40,000 seats to state Muslim pilgrims welfare boards and agencies, as well as the FCT and other private tour operators for participation of intending pilgrims to this year's Hajj. The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Alhaji Zikirullah Kunle Hassan, announced the sharing formula in a meeting with chairmen, secretaries of state Muslim pilgrim welfare boards, FCT, and tour operators. Kaduna State has the highest figure of close to 2,500 seats, followed by Sokoto, Niger, and Kano, while Katsina and Kebbi states have a little above 2,000 seats.
Arabia has indicated that anybody above 65 years old must not be allowed to perform Hajj. All intending pilgrims, as we know, must be fully vaccinated. And by full vaccination, you understand it to mean the 3 doses. And of course, PCR is mandatory. And Saudi Arabia is saying 72 hours. We are going to work on possibly 48 hours before embarking on the trip.
The statement, which added that Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Imo have zero allocation, a failure to meet the conditions for renewal of their operating licenses, but that pilgrims from the states will be taken care of. Now for a bit on politics, the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress says women remain strategic partners in their task to positively change the narrative politically. Newly elected women leaders of the party have commenced strategic planning in this regard. Salihu Gwanara reports.
The new leadership of the APC has identified women as a critical organ and is showing willingness to harness numerical strength of women to encourage their participation in politics. Strategic engagement with frontline women politicians such as these is the planning process towards the objective.
Women are determined to work with one another. Women are determined to support one another, to support our brand new national woman leader as she struggles with all the strategic partners.
This is a program where we are charging women to go and begin the door-to-door mobilization for voters registration, which would be ending in June. Beyond that, we'll also go ahead in future times to carry out the door-to-door mobilization.
We have the zonal and the state women leaders here who will take the message back to the grassroots and then implement what they have taken from here back to the grassroots, and it's going to go back to the ward and then the units levels.
To the participants, the event is timely and worthy.
APC has strategically planned how it's going to carry the women right from the bottom to the top.
This training is preparing us towards the progression.
We're going to educate them on how to call women to come and register for their voters card.
All zonal and the 36 state women leaders, including FCT, attended the meeting. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Now, for Sport of Call is Lagos. Hingino is standing by with stories. Hingino.
Thank you, Cyril. Traffic congestion, dragging and almost unyielding is one of the reasons commuters in Lagos State dread closing hours, especially on working days. The challenge is now more acute for commuters with the closure of Akpongbo and of Eco Bridge for repairs. Adeni Taiwo reports that needed relief is on the horizon as government moves man and machinery to site.
March 27 this year, when Akpogbo end of Eco Bridge, got burnt and damaged to the point that it had to be closed to traffic by Lagos State government. Shuttling between Lagos Island and mainland has become quite hectic for pedestrians. You can call it the survival of the fittest, as it requires a lot of nerve, a lot of money, and also improvisation, to shuttle along this line.
Emmanuel Shoyemi works on the Lagos Island. It is the close of work for the day, and tired as he is primed and ready to navigate another gridlock and cross the channel from the island to Lagos mainland.
This hold up is really turning on our body, going up and down with bike, flying bike on this main road. It's very dangerous, but one has to do it just to get home early.
This is one of the diversions created in the aftermath of the closure of Akpogbo end of the Eco Bridge. On cue, it is witnessing a high volume of traffic as work closes for the day and commuters settle for shortcuts.
It's terrible. That's why we are leaving work earlier so that we can meet up.
They have been coping stressfully. They should act and repair the roads. They know it's the masses that is suffering.
For many good reasons, government had been skeptical of the operations of commercial motorcyclists, but now they seem to be the preferred choice as people depend on them to traverse between Lagos mainland and the island.
The bike you are talking about, they are the one helping us for now, because even taking bike from here to Mushi, they will charge you 1,000, 1,200 sometimes.
You can see the way Okada passing their bike from one lane to another lane. At times people are coming from work before some people get home around 11. So the government should please come and do the road in time.
Meanwhile, preliminary repair work has begun under Akpogbo Bridge, with some of the beams affected by the fire already receiving attention. In Lagos, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Now to electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has begun the third and final phase of the permanent voter card registration exercise. Kehinde Adebisi was in town to monitor the situation.
Political space is gradually gathering the expected momentum as many aspirants are declaring their intent. Just as political parties are also fine-tuning their strategies to emerge victorious in the 2023 general election. So as not to disenfranchise many Nigerians, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) opened its permanent voter card registration portal yet again for the third and final phase of registration.
We were improving. People were not coming before the way we wanted, but after we developed the internal part of the local government here, because before we were doing it only at the state office and local government headquarters, 20 local governments in the state. But towards the end of March, we moved to some interior part, especially areas where we have zero polling units. And at that time, we saw large crowds.
Equipped with this information, I paid a visit to some registration centers across Lagos metropolis.
For here, the process is quiet and calm. Everybody is following suit as supposed to be. You can see for yourself. No noise, no quarrel. A lot of people were following by numbers to number.
I've registered for a long time, but the face is not clear and my name is not written fully. So I came to make corrections on that.
Attributing the low turnouts to level of awareness, some Nigerians suggest ways of encouraging other citizens to participate.
If you say you want a government, it is through your PVC that you elect a government. So if you don't participate, you cannot condemn. In this wise, I'll tell them to make sure that they get their PVC.
I've been instrumental to almost 150 people collecting their PVCs.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says once registered, the PVC is valid and does not expire. In Lagos, Kende Adebisi, NTA News.
Time now for our second break, but before then, remember that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates.
You don't carry our Pikin go hospital.
I don't see why I go carry Pikin go hospital because of ordinary fever now.
Ordinary fever? Pikin wey im body dey hot like that.
Now cloth now soak inside water, take rub her body. She don't dey play even as I come out.
If na malaria na im dey worry that pikin, by now you no know say the thing for don worse pass.
Yeah. No be my generator dey do that one. Abeg make I quick call mechanic.
Carry cloth and water.
Yes. For generator?
You use cloth and water clean our pikin body. Go use that same pattern for the generator. Make we see as e go work.
Sense, mama. I receive sense. So, see, I go do am correct now. Make you carry this phone and help me call the engineer. Make I carry her pikin sharp the hospital.
If fever catch you and you no go treat am sharp, if it's serious pass as e dey o, especially for pikin dem whenever reach 5 years.
Do tests. If na malaria, finish your medicine. If no be malaria, go, your health worker go tell you wetin to do.
Now, Federal Ministry of Health and American people them bring on this message.
I find the strength I need every time that I look into your eyes. Show me. I know they worry, God I know that you did by my side. And if I fall away, right in the midst of all my hours, you know that I am on my way. They always take for me. No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day, no matter when I show you. You show me love, you show me love.
Bye.
Don't worry, dear. I'll take care of it. How do you manage to keep your fabric so white? Wow. And how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your home free of illness causing viruses and germs with the disinfecting power of Hypo Bleach. Now available in 200 ml bigger sachet.
Oh boy.
You know, I know you're making up the truth. Why can't I go before I lose my cool? I love you even past the difficult.
Back in Abuja, it's time to get down to business with Benny Adams. Benny?
Thank you and welcome to Business. Come Tuesday 26th, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council alongside stakeholders in the export ecosystem will be brainstorming on ways to improve in export performance, source for foreign exchange and value addition towards improving quality of products as well as packaging for exports. The campaign is tagged Exports for Survival.
And embark on non-oil export as a business. It is something people have been doing, people have been gaining. It is not difficult. It's a thing we can all come out and do as a nation.
What's a seamless trade facilitation in the African continental markets? The NEPC has recently opened a trade office in Egypt and is built upon another in Lomé in a fortnight. And taking a look at the energy market, oil prices traded higher but in a narrow range on Thursday after being rocked earlier in the week by supply losses from Libya and a worrying outlook for demand as the International Monetary Fund cut its global growth forecast. Brent crude futures rose $21.08 to $107.88 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained $1.30 to $103.49 a barrel, adding to a 19-cent gain in the previous session. And on the capital market, investors gain 45.91 billion naira as the all-share index inched up by 0.18%, maintains positive posture to close at 48,223.86 basis points. Market capitalization stood at 25.9 trillion naira, while 244.6 million shares valued at 3.1 billion naira exchanged hands in 4,859 deals. Beggar led 28 gainers as against 9 losers, topped by SCOA at the end of today's session. Custodians Owando and Fidelity Bank were the most active to boost market turnover, while Nigerian Breweries and MTN Nigeria topped market value list. Well, that is business. Network News continues.
Thank you, Benny. President Muhammadu Buhari says no responsive and responsible government can ignore the role of religious and traditional rulers in tackling insecurity in the country. Speaking at an iftar dinner with religious and traditional rulers, the president said his administration would continue to count on the invaluable advice and guidance of members of the revered institutions towards improving the current security challenges in the country. He said moving Nigeria forward remains a collective responsibility and therefore urged leaders at all levels to contribute meaningfully in making the country a better place.
Today, insecurity is one of the greatest challenges facing Nigeria's existence. This administration has invested more resources than any other to tackle insecurity. We have acquired advanced equipment for our armed forces and the police to strengthen their capacity to confront terrorism and banditry. We have made adequate budgetary allocations for security. Whatever the security agencies request, I made it available to them immediately. But insecurity is a worldwide phenomenon. The cure and the answer is for all sections of society to do their bit and confront the criminals head-on. The success of our armed forces and other security forces also depends on intelligence about the activities of bandits and terrorists.
The Ogoni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, and the General Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Joseph Daramola, thanked the President for demonstrating a high sense of responsibility in the discharge of his duties. The Ogoni, in particular, commended the federal government for the way and manner the COVID-19 pandemic was promptly responded to and contained in the country.
There are so many positive things to celebrate. Yes, there are challenges, but let us look at more of our strengths than our weaknesses. On behalf of my brother kings, my brother monarchs, from the north all the way to the southern Nigeria, we will continue to pray for you. We will continue to do what we are supposed to do. Any key decision making in this country, one way or the other, you carry us along. On this note, I want to use this medium to show appreciation for you, and keep up the good work.
And following the recent Easter Special Patrol, the Federal Road Safety Corps says it rescued 405 people without injuries from 131 crashes involving 857 people, representing a 47% increase in persons rescued without injuries. In a statement by the Corps Public Enlightenment Officer Bisi Kazim, the Corps revealed that this was due to massive enlightenment embarked upon during the period. The Corps added that the initiative of the Corps Marshal, Dr. Bubuyi Uyemi, to establish more FRSC commands, roadside clinics and zebra points had enabled faster response to traffic incidents. Also, 6,634 traffic offenders have been apprehended so far this year, with 134 persons arraigned before the mobile courts established to handle traffic offences. And now time to go over to Ibadan and link up with Kemi for more reports. Kemi.
Thank you, Cyril. Welcome to Ibadan. The Independent National Electoral Commission in Oyo State has embarked on awareness creation on the additional polling units in some local government areas. Correspondent Oyeyinka Omole completes the report.
The newly created polling units are 1,607, which is in addition to the initial 4,783 units across 351 wards in Oyo State. The Commission says it is creating awareness among electorate to easily identify and migrate to populate these newly converted polling units.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC Oyo State, has intensified its efforts in making sure that people of Oyo State are really much aware of what the INEC is doing, particularly with reference to the issue of continuous voter registration and the various new polling units that have just been upgraded.
While revealing various innovations to be deployed during the elections, the resident electoral commissioner decried non-collection of over 700,000 voter cards in the state, the trend stakeholders promised to look into. As the last phase of voters registration continues, electorate are advised to maximize the opportunity to get registered. In Ibadan, Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
7 permanent secretaries have been inaugurated in Kwara State with the charge to raise the new generation of productive and responsible civil servants. The state governor, Abdurrahman Abdurazak, gave the charge at the swearing-in ceremony. Raliat Ibrahim reports.
The inauguration of the new permanent secretaries followed the retirement of 15 permanent secretaries from various ministries and agencies, creating vacuums to be filled. With the administration of oath of office and documentation, Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak told the newly appointed permanent secretaries to prioritize the needs of the people. History, he said, has placed a burden upon them to raise a generation of responsible civil servants.
As the most senior bureaucrat in the service, history has placed upon you a burden to raise a generation of civil servants who will deliver promptly on their core mandates.
So we expect that you move as fast as you can and you do things properly.
One of the permanent secretaries inaugurated, Yahaya Muhammad, on behalf of others, said they are well acquainted with the policies of government and will work towards realizing them. Raliat Ibrahim, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Cyril, it's back to you.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. I don't know for you.
It's called Oja Village. We know how to at
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I talk with that now.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news, or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Let's bring you some sports news now.
The Nigerian Navy Gulf Estate, Karishi Abuja, is on the cusp of history as momentum continues to build up ahead of the inaugural Captain and Lady Captains tournament on May 14. Golfers from over 60 golf clubs in the country are expected to tee off the one-day tournament on the 18-hole golf course, where the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral A.Z. Gambo, will also attend.
The Chief of Naval Staff has been very, very supportive. Confront him with any problem, he's there for us. And he even asks, what are the problems in the golf course?
All our trophies they are in making, and then most importantly, to get the course ready. So the captain is preparing to bring in some slashes so that when they play, they have a feel of foreign touch of golf club.
Away from golf, record English Premier League champions Manchester United have appointed Ajax manager Erik ten Hag to take charge of the Red Devils for the next 3 years with an option of another year. The 52-year-old takes over in the summer and will be tasked with a rebuilding project to restore United as title contenders after the last won the league title in the 2012-2013 season. In tennis, former world number 3 Elena Svitolina is leading the charge to allow Russian and Belarusian players who speak against Russian invasion of Ukraine to compete at this year's Wimbledon after All England Lawn Tennis Club banned players from the two countries from participating in the tournament, which runs from June 27 to July 10. With sports update, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari mourns the tragic deaths of 2 officers in a Nigerian Air Force plane crash in Kaduna. In a statement by his Senior Special Assistant, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the President said the death of Flight Lieutenant Abubakar Alkali and Flight Lieutenant Elijah Haruna Karatu was shocking, being young men with promising careers. Extending condolences to the Chief of the Air Staff and families of the dead, President Buhari welcomed the decision to investigate the incident with a call for more safety measures to forestall future incidents. And that concludes Network News tonight. Thank you for watching. But remember to join the NTA in fighting against rape and rapists. I'm Cyril Stover. Good night.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Hello, it's a warm welcome to Sports Radio, reaching live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. And Give George.